Hi everyone, so today we're going to talk about regulating our cell cycle. So we've been talking about for the past couple days our cell cycle itself and interphase, those different phases within interphase, and then mitosis itself we talked about yesterday, thinking about all those different phases of mitosis to actually divide the cells in our body. So what we're going to talk about today is just the regulation of those cycles and what happens if something is going wrong. So those things are called checkpoints, and checkpoints are just places where your cell decides to stop, figure out if everything is going well, and if it is, it'll continue on to the next stage. So what I'd like you to do right now is take out your cell cycle that we colored the other day, and I want you to take a look, think about the definitions of those different phases, and decide where you think those checkpoints might be within the cell. So take a second, pause the video right now, and just determine where those checkpoints would be. If something is going wrong in the cell, that's when we would see a little bit of a change. So either the cell would just kind of go into a limbo, which we call G0, or it could trigger apoptosis. So this is a term that I want you to write down right here, apoptosis. And what that is just if the cell is something wrong with it, the DNA is not correct, it didn't trigger anything right, and there's not good things going on, the cell will actually destroy itself through this process of apoptosis. But let's take a look at where those checkpoints are within the cell cycle. So there's a G1 checkpoint. So this is happening right at the end of G1 after that growth phase before synthesis occurs. So that would be our S phase, synthesis. The cell checks at the end of G1, make sure everything is good, make sure everything is growing well, we have enough stuff in our cell, and it also checks the DNA to make sure that everything is good before we start cell division. So that would be G1 checkpoint. Our next checkpoint is going to be in G2, so before we move into the phase of mitosis, the cell is going to check at the end of G2, the end of that second growth period, that the DNA replicated properly, we have the correct DNA, it's not damaged, and all the organelles have duplicated, so we have enough stuff for that duplicated cell to function correctly within our bodies. And then our last checkpoint that we're going to see is going to occur before anaphase within mitosis. So during metaphase, we're going to check, make sure that the chromosomes are lined up properly, attached to their spindle fibers before they can separate. If that didn't happen, say one of our chromosomes was off center, when we moved on to our anaphase, we would see that we might have a difference in our cells, and that would make for a lot of problems that would happen at this checkpoint if the wrong amount of chromosomes move to one side or the other. And we'll actually investigate what happens when this occurs in our bodies, what diseases might occur there. But again, that is going to be our last checkpoint of our cell cycle. So what I would like you to do is go back to those coloring pages, and I want you to add in these checkpoints to your coloring pages so you have a nice full in-depth cell cycle here. If you have any questions, please write them down and I will be able to answer those when we're back. Okay? I'll see you next time.